Welcome back, it's MeiaSoQuick, and in today's video, we're back drawing. So here are the supplies you're gonna need. You can feel free to go ahead and pause the video so you can see everything while we go ahead and get started. So for today, I chose to draw my own self, right? Like this is like a huge challenge for me, and I was like, what face do I know better than my own? So I took this picture right here, you can see it, and I just did a rough sketch of it, and yeah, like I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm taking this graphite powder that I got, and I'm just gonna start taking like a little makeup brush and trying to fill in my hair. I can say that I was super nervous trying to do this, and I probably made a mistake that most beginners make. Like everything came out super light, like, you know, and then I had to keep going back and shading some more. So I can say that when you're looking at this, I would suggest that, you know, you just don't be afraid to apply some pressure, because you're gonna need some different values so that everything just doesn't look, you know, so one-dimensional and flat. All right. But yes, as you can see, I'm just shading it in with this graphite powder, and I left some blanks where that's like supposed to be where, you know, like, I don't know, the reflection, like as if the sun was hitting me, where the light just really shines on the highlights. So once I got that, I'm then taking my 2B pencil and I am making some quick strokes for my hair. This will be for, you know, just my little hair strands, and you want to make sure that this all goes in the direction that like your hair would flow, so that it looks a little more realistic. So you see me doing that on both sides, and I would try to say try to be light when you pick up the brush, so that when you pick up your pencil, like, so that it, you know, kind of blends a little bit better, if that makes sense. So I'm going through, and as you can see, once again, I'm just changing the direction of how my hair was actually flowing, since half of my hair was cut off in my photo. So I'm just doing my best to kind of guess where we're at. Then from there, I am taking this dotting tool that I use in my nail videos. If you've ever watched my nail videos, these are the same dotting tools that I use for my nails. But for this, I'm using it to like make indentations. So you can't really see what I'm doing as much, but think of it as just me putting some scratches in the paper. But I'm going in the same way that I would do my lines for my hair. So that way when I go again and apply a darker, you know, pencil shade over it, those white lines are really going to stand out and actually look like hair strands. So you can see right here, I'm just doing some shading with a, what is this, a 4B or a 3B? I tend to start off with a B and then go to a 2B, 3B, 4B. So you'll see that every time I do a layer, I go in with a darker pencil. So yes, here I'm just going through over the same hair, and I'm just shading. I was trying different things and was hoping that, you know, it will work out, because I've never done hair, let alone a whole face. You guys have seen, I've only done an eye and lips, and then I just jumped straight into a face. So like this was all just real experimental. I'm using this mechanical or electric eraser. Like I really like it, like for some really good highlights. It's really cool, because I tried my white pencil right here, my white pen, and it works. I do always suggest that you kind of get it flowing on a separate sheet of paper, just to make sure that the ink runs clearly out, because sometimes it will kind of get stopped up when you're trying to go over pencil. But yeah, so I'm just trying to do these for those little flyaways that, you know, we hate, but yet they exist, and I think it helps to make it look even realer. So now that I'm kind of satisfied with my hair, I'm going in with my B pencil, and I'm going to start shading my face. I mean, at a point, I guess I could have used my powder again since I had it, but I was just, you know, like I said, unsure and just trying to figure out like what works best for me. So also know that I'm using mixed media paper, so I'm not really sure if this is the best paper or not, but this is what I got because I like to paint on it sometimes, and I'm drawing on it now until this sketchbook is gone. I'll be using the same Canson extra large mixed media paper. All right, so as you guys can see, I'm just shading it in all around, and I try to go in multiple directions so that way like I don't have any white space showing. And then I am blending out the edges where like I had some shadows that I could see in the photo with this same makeup brush that I had in the graphite powder. Yeah, and then I realized that shadow really didn't look like a shadow. It was kind of just blending in, so I went back in and I'm just making those shadows a little deeper. So as I said, like, don't be afraid. Like, I get it, you might not want it to be as dark, or you know, because if you apply too much you can't take it back. But yeah, like, I am not light skinned, I am a dark skinned woman, and I was nervous applying so much. So yeah, I'm just once again trying to create those shadows, and then I'll go back in, and this time I'm blending it out with a tissue. So I'll go back and forth between the tissue when I'm getting a blend or with the actual makeup brush. So now on to the eyebrows. This is probably my favorite part, which is also my favorite part when I do makeup. Eyebrows are generally like the only thing I do on a daily basis. I just like eyebrows. I don't know. So I'm going in the direction that like my natural eyebrows fall. So at the beginning of the eyebrow, it's just kind of straight up and down, and then it starts to kind of go diagonal, and then towards the tail, the hair starts to travel down. So all of my strokes are in that direction. And yeah, this is just my general shape of my eyebrows, and I wish they could look like this every day. So yeah, now that I got that, I'm going in and once again, I always start off with a B, then I move up to a 2B, so it just gradually gets darker. So I'm going over the same thing, following the same lines, but I'm deepening it, if you will. And as you guys can see, when I'm working on this side of, like this left side, I always slide a paper under my hand so that way I'm not smudging anything, especially since, you know, we just carry so many oils in our hands. Now I'm taking this, what is this, a 3B? And I am doing my liner that was in my waterline. I think this day I wore some, like, you know, I actually had some makeup on for this actual photo. So yeah, and some false lashes. So that's what you see me doing here. I wasn't afraid to go deep here because I did actually use black on my real face. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm also doing that for my crease. And now that I've got that, I'm going into for my eyeballs and my iris, and I colored those in, and I tried to leave the little white spot open for like the little highlight, if you will. And now I'm going in and trying to shade my face underneath my eyebrows, and even the light shade over my eye, which is fine because it's not pure white anyway. I just won't apply another layer when we get there. So now I'm going through and trying to do my eyelashes. So with the eyelashes, it's kind of like it makes a backwards C on the outer part of your eyelashes, and then as it comes towards the middle, it changes to like a regular C. I don't know how else to say that, but I hope you get what I mean. Like, it curves out, and then eventually the curve changes directions as you get towards the inner corner. So if you've ever tried to figure out, like, if your eyelashes just look straight up and down, that's what would help it look a little bit more natural. And then I'm also shading underneath my under eye, because that's also where I shade when I wear makeup as well, with just a little bit of eyeshadow. So I'm just shading and trying to find all the shadows that I see in my picture, and blending and going back over, forward and backwards all over again, okay? And then moving further down my face, trying to shade in where my nose is at. I took some time on my nose. I just think that noses are weird. What can I say? Like, noses, even when they're cute, like I like to think I got a cute nose, right? But man, when you're drawing it, it's like, this doesn't look right. So as you can see here, I started off with trying to do the bottom, and then like I'm not really drawing lines, harsh lines for my nose, so it's all gonna come in with my shading. That you'll see how it turned out. But I mean, I think it turned out pretty well. I tinkered with it a whole lot though, with just constantly laying a base layer down, blending it and saying, okay, I can't really see the shadow, and then doing it again. So you can see me doing that now. Like I applied it, and then I was like, okay, I need to increase the intensity. And then I'm like, oh snap, now I look like I've got like a surgically manufactured nose. And then I blend it out, and then I'm like, okay, I lost my nose a little bit more, so let me add some more. So literally I was just tinkering back and forth constantly. I even cut out some of it because it literally was just me doing the same thing over and over and over. So yeah, that's where my nose is at now, but it for sure gets changed some more. But now I'm just applying this. This is like hair that's kind of like flowing from my back that just kind of peeks through, I guess, if you will. So that's just what you're seeing there. And then again, I'm going back over my hair because as I start to do that part, I realize, oh, well, my hair is not dark enough. So it's literally just a back and forth all over again. So now that you can see that, this is in real time, me going back to my nose, because as I said, I just tinkered with it a bunch, and you can see where I left like the little highlights. That's even where I apply highlighter like on my face, like I said, with my makeup. Most of it's like the drawing is really the same as if I was applying makeup. It's the same way. So now I'm going and I just did a darker outline on my Cupid's bow, and I'm shading in my lips. You guys have seen my lip video. If you haven't, I'll go ahead and you can click that at the top in the corner. You can click the eye and you can see how I did when I drew realistic lips. I pretty much did those same steps, just on a smaller scale, because these lips on this drawing are actually like really small. This paper might look big, but it's really not. So yeah, but if you watch that video, you'll see a great way on how to just do some realistic lips. But I did those same steps. So I started off by just adding a base layer, and then you do the lines from the bottom of the lip and the top lip, and then you try to kind of like make them almost merge together, and then you do some squiggly lines going perpendicular to those up and down lines, so those kind of mimic the cracks in our lips. Yeah, and then after that, I went back, I added some more shading, tried to really define what my lips look like. Then it got me nervous because it started looking like a mustache, and then I was like, oh my god, I gotta blend this back out with these shadows. And then I went in and darkened up the background, so my teeth and what would look like, I guess, the inside of my mouth. And then I went to my white gel pen to try to add some highlights, which you can't really see as much now. And then I took my electric eraser and tried to add in some highlights, which honestly showed up a lot better here. It's just sometimes a little bit hard to control because it's new for me, but I like it. I definitely do like it. I found it on Amazon, and it came with, I don't know, like 11 erasers. So it definitely came with a lot of a replacement. So I definitely recommend it. Alright, so now that I got here, my next step was that I was going to then shade in the rest of my body. So I was like, I'm not doing this with a pencil. I'm just going to go in with this graphite powder and let's go to work. So you see that that's what I did, and then I blended it out with my tissue, and then I tried to bring back those lines to find my shape. I will say that like this shoulder, you can't see much of it, and I'm glad, because I don't know, I didn't really do it. In my real picture, it's like muscular and all of that, but I was so worried for the most part about my face that I was like, get into the body, the rest of the body parts, I wasn't ready yet. So you see me now just trying to find those little lines that I see like in my collarbone, right, in my clavicle. I'm giving clavicle in this photo. So So I really wanted to try to like bring that out in my neck here. So I just draw the lines, I shade it, I go in with my eraser to try to, for this part was for my necklace so that it would stand out. And then once again going back in with the pencil to kind of redefine those edges. And I think that part came out really, really good. And I still have that ear to do. Like, the ear was weird. I probably should have started with just trying to like figure out how to draw an ear, because the ear was difficult. But no one zoom in on the ear, okay? I know you're looking at the ear now, but I can't really give you any tips on the ear because I couldn't really even see it in the picture, and I was forgetting like what my ear looks like. So honestly just did some random lines in places and tried to do my jewelry and was like, okay, there you go, that's my ear. So yeah, no tips for that. And yeah, for the most part, this is what it was looking like. So as you can see, it's super duper light. Like, it's okay, but it's super light, right? So I'm signing it, and I want to tell you that I signed it and I was satisfied, right? I was satisfied, but then I kept looking at it for the next week. Like, and this is great. Like, this is like my first time ever doing something like this. Like, I was definitely proud of myself. Like, I was like, this is great. But as I kept walking into the room, looking at it, like, I was like, I'm not satisfied. Like, it looks too light. Like, the values all look the same outside of like my eyelashes, which were dark. So I went back and this is what I did. Okay, I didn't film it, but I didn't really change anything except like I just kept going back over it. I just added more. Like, I didn't change any of the details, but once I added some more values and just tried to darken it up, and you can see me, this shoulder right here is like, ah, look, what is that? The shoulder, just ignore it, right? But like everything else just added so much more value that it just makes it look 10 times better. So if you're a beginner, don't be afraid to apply some pressure, apply some layers, get some deeper values so that it doesn't all just look washed. And that's me, guys. You know, hopefully this is inspiration. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, feel free to actually like the video. Feel free to subscribe. I plan on doing a lot more of these. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right, bye.